Hello, this is Abby.
Dear Abby, this is gonna be a long one.
Oh boy.
Dear Abby, how do you tell the difference between a new exciting crush and a rebound?
Does it matter?
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby.
Welcome to our little corner of the internet. This is the Dear Abby podcast. I hope you stay and hang out with us. See you in a sec. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dear Abby. I'm your host. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining us today. I am a little bit nervous about today because I have some updates and some housekeeping for the podcast. And it's something I've been thinking about for a really, really long time. And I've been going back and forth. And today I finally made the decision. I'm moving to 2 episodes a month instead of 4. So I'll be posting every other week on the same day. I feel guilty even saying it because, and I knew I would feel like this, and I probably will feel like this for a while because this has been like my passion project. I've just been feeling overwhelmed for probably the past year. I've been feeling guilty because I can't give my all to every episode, and I used to be able to, but my circumstances have just changed. It's a mix of I want to be able to put my all into the podcast and not fully burn out. So I want to get better and I want to improve and I want to be able to do a lot of other things with the podcast. And I think having a week off every other week will help me be able to fill that time with something to add more to the podcast. Also, I just wanted a little bit more of my mental energy back. I've felt like I've been struggling because it's hard to like put myself out there so often and share everything that I'm feeling all the time. And sometimes I am like drained by it, but I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been going back and forth for like a year of changing something, doing something to get a little bit more of my sanity back. This feels like it's the right decision. I don't know if it's right or wrong. My obsessive need to know what is the exact right thing that I should be doing, what is exactly right for me. Is this going to ruin everything? Or is everyone going to stop listening? Are people going to be mad? Am I messing everything up by doing this? Like all of these worries would float through my mind, and so I wouldn't do anything about it. But I feel very confident in my understanding of myself to know that I just needed this time. I'm excited for other opportunities that come up because I'm able to have a little bit more time to dedicate myself to different aspects of the podcast. That being said, I'm again very much excited for the future, and I am not withdrawing myself from the podcast, I guess, because sometimes it feels like people pull away from what they're giving, and I am going to be just as honest and transparent every single time. It's an ironic thing to share this episode because I wanted to talk about when you have ambition or even when you just have a lot of curiosity for a lot of different things. Sometimes it can feel very overwhelming to spend time doing one thing. And it can feel very overwhelming and you almost feel guilty for not doing everything that you've been interested in and want to try. It can feel discouraging because you want to explore a lot of different things and deciding one thing feels wrong. And I also wanted to talk about similarly when you're trying to do things when you're trying to kind of put yourself into like a puzzle when you're trying to shove yourself into a place that doesn't necessarily feel right, and it maybe just it's out of habit, you've done it your whole life, you've tried to fit in with this group or you've tried to fit in with these hobbies or these types of, I don't know, environments, but maybe it's just not sitting right with you. It doesn't feel fulfilling. You don't feel like yourself. So we're going to talk about those 2 things on today's episode. Yeah, I'm really grateful. Like the reason I feel guilty is because anyone that listens every week and is looking forward to it, I feel like I'm disappointing people, and that is not a good feeling. So if that's the case, I hope that you can understand. It's not like an abandonment or anything. It's just a little bit of a change, I guess. And to be clear, I'm doing this so I can actually post more different content that I want to post. Like, I'm not going to be done posting. I really like, I like streaming. I like video games. I like D&D. I like doing other things, and I want to post more content. And so I'm hoping that this frees up more time for me to share more, just not in this exact way, in this exact time. That being said, we can ignore that for now, and let's jump into today's podcast. Okay. So let's do a dub and an L, and then we're gonna go into the details, and then we'll go into the today's episode topic. Oh my gosh, it just feels really strange going down to 2 episodes a month when I've been doing 4 episodes a month for years now. But it feels good. I think. I don't know. I'm stressed. Let's do the dub first, and then we'll do the L. This week's dub just happened today. I mean, there's been a lot of great dubs. A lot of great dubs. Can't think of any right now. Actually, yeah, we had a great D&D session. I feel more comfortable DMing. I'm not as anxious about what are they thinking of me. I'm just like, okay, I don't really give a rip. I'm just gonna be myself and be over dramatic and everything, and be fun, and just be fully engaged in the moment. And it helps every time when I'm not overthinking. Now, after, that's a different story. And before, that's a different story. But I actually, you know what? I found a video that pumped myself up. You know how on Instagram, I don't know where it came from, but there's a video of like, remember who you are, insert whatever group of people. Like nerdy girl, book girl, tired dad, or whatever. I saw one that says, remember who you are, Dungeon Master. And then it was a compilation of all the DMs that you see online and them doing the most insane looking, crazy facial expressions, weird mannerisms, just the best and the worst things you can see, with the cool song in the background. And that made me feel like a baller. And I proceeded to have a great session and was just having fun. I think the players had fun. They said they did. Who knows? I had fun. I feel like if I'm having fun, the players are having fun, because if I'm stressed, they can feel that. Anyways, won't bore you with more of that stuff. But the other dub that I was originally going to say was my sweet, sweet husband texted me today with a link to buy tickets at a movie theater on his account, because he has a whole membership. He sees like 500 movies a month. I'm not even kidding. To go see BTS's live concert from Japan. Like, they're doing a concert in Japan and they're having it live streamed, and you can watch it at Regal. He sent me that link and just said, you can buy these to watch BTS's whatever. When I tell you, I felt so loved by that little tender, hey, I know this makes you happy. Here's a link if you want to go do this while I'm gone that night. Just like that little tender thought of, hey, I saw this when I was looking at other movies. I know Abby likes this, even if I'm not a huge fan or I don't really understand. And same with anime. He doesn't really watch anime, but I love that too. He likes D&D, thankfully, after convincing. But yeah, like K-pop, anime, he doesn't get it. He's just like, cool, like, I'm happy you like it, but that is, I'm very much appreciative of that, because I don't need my husband to understand everything about myself. In fact, there was a time, and there sometimes could still be a habit that I have, where I feel like he should love everything that I love, to the max amount that I love it, or he doesn't love me. And that's not fair for him, because I don't love everything that he loves. When he talks about random car mechanics, I'm not like so excited, and so I want to learn more about the topic, but I love listening to him talk about the topic. And there's a big difference, and that's okay. I think if you put so much pressure on yourself or your spouse to be obsessed with everything that you're obsessed with, that can create tension, and also it just can create a feeling of disconnection, because you're thinking that something's wrong with your relationship. I mean, if you have nothing in common and that does, hurt, or you wish you liked more things together, then you can discuss that. Or maybe like if it's a new relationship, I don't know, that then maybe you can look into that. But for us, we are best friends. We laugh all the time. Like he makes me laugh, I make him laugh. But hobbies, we have very different hobbies. We have some that intertwine. Like, for example, I mean, I've talked about camping before, but I wasn't like a huge camper. Wouldn't have seen myself getting all the supplies and going, taking myself. But see, with my family later on, yeah, but me and him go all the time. And I'm either like, I'll read my Kindle, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge reader yet. I want to be. It's like I used to be when I was younger. There was a point in my life where I was like maybe when was this, like freshman, sophomore year? And then that's pretty much it. For some reason, I just went on a binging reading place. I could finally read because I had to go to a special class, and I could finally read books, and I liked it, and I could pay attention. And so it was really fun, and I got it. And then I fell out of it because you just get older and you're like, I want to play video games. So I just went from books to video games pretty much. That was the trajectory for me. Books, weird fantasy books, awesome, and kind of weird fantasy books turned into just video games. I digress. My husband will do all of his camping stuff, camp vibes. It was really just sitting and cooking meat. But I'll like to bird watch and paint and make little collages on Pinterest, stuff like that. And it works. And we're both super happy to just do our own thing, but do it right next to each other, because that feels like the best. But again, there was a time where I genuinely felt so hurt by him if he didn't like what I liked. Like I felt like something was wrong with our relationship because he didn't like everything that I liked. But more after reflecting and after realizing that's making me miserable to just constantly be offended and constantly be seeking for him to validate me in some way with what I like, I realized it kind of stemmed from probably just being misunderstood a lot, and also my hobbies, feeling like my silly hobbies and my silly interests aren't taken seriously, but they don't need to be taken seriously. I can do that myself. But I think just growing up feeling misunderstood, feeling like my things that I like are silly and whatever and dumb and a waste of time. But to me, they mean a lot. And so now, realizing that I was trying to seek some validation from him that I could just give to myself. And I feel like I actually just recently really realized what I was doing. And then I was able to just tell myself, I don't need anyone else to tell me that my hobbies and what I like to do is okay. Like I can do that myself, and I need to be more secure in those ways. And I will be happier if I do that. And I feel like my life has significantly improved, and my internal dialogue has also gotten better with not making fun of myself so much or not cringing at myself so much. So that's been nice. And I don't put that pressure on my husband. And he's always been supportive, but sometimes he'll tease me about something, or he'll make a joke and I take it seriously. And I'm like, okay. The L was, honestly, I haven't played a lot of video games in a while. I played Hogwarts Legacy a little bit the other day, but I've been really missing playing games with my siblings or my friends, and I am craving that. And I'm also craving just like a good farming game. Like I just want to walk around and pick stuff up. I just want a little bit of an ambiance in my ear. I want to hear the grass make a little sound when I step. I want to get a little axe that I built out of stone and wood, and then to cut more wood to make other stuff. I want to find little animals I can make my pets. And I guess I don't just want to farm. I also want to play a team game and bring my team down, like bottom of the leaderboard, 0 kills. I got killed a lot. So that's my dub and my L. Now let's go into the details. I've been going to the beach more often because it's getting warmer. And so the sun is out. They're great beach weekends, and I'm excited for summer. Every time I go to the beach and I walk the shores of the beach, right along the sweet spot where your feet just barely get wet, and the sand has a really thin pool of water that either captures the sun, reflects the sun, or it just makes it so wherever you step, the sand kind of melts around your foot and then you leave and then it goes back to normal. It's like magic sand. When I was younger, I would always listen to, beach waves when I would get anxious going to bed. My mom had a sound machine that I loved. That was ocean waves. Shores, the shoreline. It's just such a beautiful place. It's like a beautiful meeting of chaos and movement and stillness, like the stillness of the sand, the movement of the waves slapping against the beach. You have wild, this huge, vast ocean that's filled with who knows what, all sorts of creatures, all sorts of things, like a whole world down there. And this underwater world meets the land, the people, a city. And there's this cool, and I just love the concept that the shoreline is where those two things meet. And so when I'm there, I feel calmed by that because I like a little bit of both. I want the chaos with the stillness. If it's too still, I get anxious. Like I crave movement. Like I crave something to move. And the shore is just a perfect combination of both. I even did when I took a personality test, I don't even know which one it was. I don't know which one it was. There's so many out there. I think my sister would know. She's like an expert on those things. Human design. It's human something. After you put in, I don't know if it's your birthday thing or if you answer what the heck? If you answer I don't know if you answer a bunch of okay. I don't know if you answer a bunch of questions or if it's a birthday thing. Finally. And I found out in that personality results that there is like a certain place or kind of like a concept of a place that is comforting to me that I'm drawn to, and it's shores. I think is what the shores. And I think it was kind of literal, but also I think it was both symbolic and literal. Like the meeting of two things is a place that I like to be. And that's very true. There's also something incredibly freeing about the beach and the shoreline. If you see any videos of when people are like, singing to a dramatic song and they're on the shore, those are like some of the best videos. Or in like really big grassy, hilly places. Those are also pretty awesome when they're running and singing a song. I also love the shores of the beach because it is one of the only places where I see both grown men and little 2-year-old children, toddlers, play the exact same way in the waves. Like you see full grown adults and children playing the same way in the sand. And also you see them playing the same way in the ocean and in the waves. There is just it's a very freeing place. And it's one of my favorite things to also watch people play in the ocean. Okay, well, let's get into the meat of today's episode. Let's first start with a reminder to not force yourself to be something that you're not. And this is mostly referring to a personality trait that doesn't feel like it's yourself. If you're having to force something all the time and it's not a training or a learning of something, but you're trying to be something you're not. You're trying to like be someone you're not. You may be trying to fit into an environment that doesn't feel like that's where you should be, that's where you need to be. Or it can be that you're trying to fit yourself into hobbies that you think you need to like, but you really don't want to spend time doing. Something else along the same lines is when you're trying to appear to be something that you're not. That's something that can be easy to fall into and very easy to fall into, especially this day and age. And in a world where sometimes people care more about their online persona than like who they actually are in real life, how people see them online versus how people see them in person, because that feels more powerful online in a weird way. I don't really know, but I don't know if that makes sense. But I think when we're doing any of these things, like just trying to be something we're not in any of those ways, And you might have something that just pops up for you personally, like in your own way. Maybe you're trying to be with, you're dating someone and you feel like they're really not a good fit, but you want it to be them, or you want it to fit so badly. And so you're trying to put yourself in there, but you know that something's not fitting, that something's just not falling into place. Something's not sitting right with you. When we're doing this and when we're experiencing this in some way, usually, at least my experience is, we can feel exhausted by it. We can feel like we come home every day and we feel like we're living the same day, or we're so exhausted by the same things over and over and over again. And we feel like we got nothing done. Like you could get 1,000 things done in a day, but if there's some things that you really don't want to be spending time doing, but you feel like you have to for some reason, and not in a dutiful way, if that's a word, or in a, this is my responsibility, but in a way that is, you're just trying to become something that you really don't care that deeply to become. Or you're trying to, or when you go out, you're trying to show that you are one thing when really you are something else. I think this also happens when we've been doing something for so long, because it can feel, if you've been doing it for a long time, you have to keep doing it the same way and you can't change anything. Because what if that means things were a waste, or what if it means, I don't know, like you just get, sometimes mentally, maybe you can get stuck on the what ifs or the how comes, and it's just like a habit. It's like a pattern and it's hard to change that. But also it's scary to be curious about what else is there. Like what else is there? What would it feel like if something changed? What if I took a step back from, maybe a group of people? What if I took a step back from this environment, your career? When you struggle with this, or there's something in your life that you're doing this with, it feels like you're not really ever yourself. And even when you're alone, you may not feel like yourself. And it might take so long to feel like yourself again every day if you're doing just so many things that you just do out of habit and you're just going through the motions. So it can be good to relook at what you're actually doing every day and then adjust anything that you feel like, maybe I want to try something new. Maybe I want to become this. Maybe I want to take up this hobby instead. Or maybe you just need a little bit of a shift for a little bit and then you can go back into something. But as they say, the resistance to change can be more painful than the change itself. Also, you have nothing to hide from. Like, you don't need to hide yourself. You don't need to act like you're something you're not. Your strength, your power, your ability, your special something, your special ingredient as a person is going to come when you're not trying to be everybody else, when you're not trying to be what Instagram says is the perfect thing, what Pinterest shows you is the perfect thing, what maybe a guy in your past has said is the perfect ideal thing, or maybe what your parents have said, or, whoever it is, or maybe it's just you have this subconscious belief because of movies and so many different magazines, and we don't really read magazines, I guess, at our age, but it's usually just online. Just certain narratives that you can't even really describe, but subconsciously you feel like it has formed some type of a belief of how you should be, who you should be, what you should look like. I think for anyone who is a creative and either they're posting their art online, they're posting their whatever they're creating online, their passion projects, their hobbies, their careers, when you're showing it to other people, you're creating stuff, you're putting it out there. It can feel intimidating when you see other people who have success and they look a certain way or their stuff looks a certain way. There's like a really fine line of not giving up what you like just to appeal to the masses. I think a big thing is just finding your audience. It's something I struggle with whenever I try to post about anything. Like I'm really not good at this, so I cannot give any advice. But I do know what doesn't work, and that's not finding your audience. So there are people out there who will see that special sauce, that special ingredient that you have. And it's also something my husband reminds me of when I'm sometimes feel like I don't have a lot of friends here that like what I like. and like to do what I like to do. And he was like, well, you need to go do more things that you like to do by yourself and just talk to people when you're there, or just kind of force yourself into those situations. Because that's how I make friends. I do not make friends by just talking to random people. I make friends by being in a situation where I'm kind of stuck and I have to talk to somebody, or some other girl's introverted or very extroverted and she talks to me. Then we can be. But that being said, like when I play video games, for example, I never talk to anybody. Even if there's like a girl that I'm like, oh, maybe I could be friends with her, I'm like so mortified and I don't say anything. He's like, that's where you're going to meet people like you. And you also don't need to hide that from the people that you're with now. Like, I don't need to try to change my personality so that these people that are this way will like me more, or that won't think I'm weird and cringy and all of these things. And so if you feel like that, if you're trying to please people or impress people or have people think that you are great in one way, or even just like care a lot about that, that's a great time to reflect and really take a look at, where am I insecure? Like, what do I not feel? Like I said in the beginning with my hobbies, with my husband, like where do I feel like I need validation from other people? And where can I give that to myself? Because I don't want to rely on other people to tell me that I'm awesome. Or I don't want other people to control what I do with my life, because it's kind of what it is. If you're becoming someone that you're not, if you're acting like you are somebody that you're not, then that's A, exhausting. B, it's hard to connect with people like that because you don't feel like vulnerable and you don't feel like yourself. And also you might not be in a room with people because you've been acting different, or you've been doing things that you wouldn't normally even really want to do. And it's not like a comfort zone thing. Like, it's not like you're scared of getting out of your comfort zone. And that's why you should try and do new things. It's like, are you kind of sacrificing values or things that you would rather be spending your time on, or just reflecting on what those are? But a big part of that is learning where you are insecure, because it's weird, it's hard, and it's painfully true that that all of us have some type of insecurities. There are some people I think that have pretty much everything solved in terms of insecurities. And there have been insecurities that I used to have that I don't really have now, but there are still some that sink really deep, and also I have to just gently and sweetly remind myself of and come back to myself. But yeah, you don't need to try to be like anybody else, because the life that is for you, the life that will feel amazing to you, the heart that God or whatever you believe has given you, like, trust and believe that's for a reason, and trust and believe that you have like a big heart, you have a sensitive heart, you have a desire for something, a deep love for something, because you can have that be filled, because you can have that be satisfied and filled. The world needs you. Like, you specifically are very needed for your specific talents. The one last thing that I'll say to make this easier to not put yourself or be something you're not is, when you feel inspired and creative, unless you're a makeup artist or you do something in the mirror and you can see it, compartmentalize it, don't spend so much time looking in the mirror, and don't spend so much time looking at other people online. Because the least pretty I feel is when I've looked at myself in the mirror so much. The least creative I feel is when I just consume and I'm looking at what everyone else is already really good at, everyone else has already figured out, what they're already doing. Then I feel so uninspired. And it's not like you're not doing something wrong, and it's not like you should be able to consume a million things and still be super inspired. I actually don't believe that that's the case. I think your brain, like, I think that you make space for your creativity by not consuming so much. And when you do consume, it's inspiration, not comparison. That's a really big difference when you want to be creative and go for something in that way. And find people who are encouraging of that, and accounts, if you are on social media, Find accounts who are encouraging of that, or find in real life teachers who are encouraging of whatever you're trying to do. And then again, don't spend so much time looking in your phone camera or looking in a mirror, dissecting everything and saying, am I good enough? Because I don't think any woman feels super beautiful when they do that. And it hasn't been, I actually haven't heard this in a very long time, but beauty comes from within. It's hard to believe that in this day and age because everything is very focused on external appearance. And I think when you are practicing being beautiful from within and you're taking care of yourself in all ways, I think you exude beautiful energy and people pick up on that. And then the second thing I want to talk about was to remind you that you don't have to be good at everything that you do. And you also don't have to do everything. Because when you have a lot of interests, as I said at the beginning, and you have a lot of curiosity for a lot of different areas of life, that is a fun, amazing thing and fun way to live. But sometimes the downside can be that you feel guilty, that you feel like you didn't really accomplish anything, and especially if it's paired with some type of perfectionism or some type of like you want to really be an overachiever. Sometimes those are like really dangerous. You want to do everything, but you also want to do everything and be perfect at it. That creates a lot of anxiety and stress because you feel like no matter what you do, it's not good enough and it's not enough. Just it's not enough. I don't do enough things. And not only do I not do enough things, I don't do enough things great, which can be a very disheartening way to approach your curiosity and things that you want to try and learn. There's a YouTube video that I watched because I felt very seen by it. And it was a guy talking about this problem of wanting to try a million things. And also people who want to get good at a lot of different things. And he shares how you don't have to let go of everything and just do one thing. Sometimes people who have the personality of that or have all those interests, we can be creative and use that to find a way to combine multiple things into one, which seems obvious, but I had never really thought about that. And it doesn't even really have to make you money. But if you want it to be a money maker, then, you do have to find a way to make it make sense if you're wanting it to support you in any way. But you don't have to compromise all your other hobbies to just do one thing. But I think without trying to solve anything, it can feel discouraging when you feel like there's not enough time to do everything. So if you're somebody that struggles with this, sometimes we lose interest in a hobby, and that's okay. Like you might just lose interest in doing something and just maybe you can let it go and free up the space, free up the mental space, the emotional space, the creative space, whatever, free it up a little bit. If you want to come back to it later, you can. But the other thing is to maybe take the pressure off of doing everything great, like being a professional at everything. I think that we can be a professional at a lot of things, actually, when we dedicate our time and our focus. But something that ruins focus for me is when I am anxious about not doing enough. That is one sure way that I will be not focused and I will not get as much done because I will be thinking about all the other things that I could be doing instead. And what if those are better? So what I practice is like, okay, I'm just sketching right now. I'm just drawing, and this has got to be enough. And I'm okay with doing this, and I'm going to commit my time. And those things that you really, really love and what you really are passionate about, you won't lose forever. Like you're always going to come back to. Like no matter what circumstance in life, if maybe you just had a baby and you don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the same things, it's gonna eventually, you're gonna have time again eventually to be able to do those things. It's not gonna be the same as it was before probably, but you will still have time and you'll just keep going back to those things. And if you find something that you don't keep going back to, but you still enjoy it every once in a while, then that's okay. That could just be all it is just a hobby you enjoy every once in a while. But again, to reiterate that video, he does, it is really helpful to think about what's one hobby you can combine multiple things into. That way you can just have fun doing a lot of those different things for one purpose. Okay, that sums it up for today, I think. I hope that made sense. If you have any other ideas and any other indications that maybe you're trying to be something you're not, please let me know. I probably forgot a bunch, but I think all of us have experienced something like this at some point in our lives. Both of those things where we're doing too much, but then also we are putting ourselves where we probably shouldn't be. Okay, that's going to be it for today's episode of the podcast. Next week, there will not be a podcast episode, but I will be back the week after. So we're jumping right into it. I promise I'm not abandoning, okay? I feel like I'm abandoning people, but I'm not. I'm really not. Please trust me. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Take yourself out, have fun, be kind to yourself, and love you guys. Bye. 우회전 taking a ride to journey 눈치 보면서 들어가야 할 때 찾아 나머진 바빠 개설레임 바꾸는 사람들 시간만 지나가 자신감 가지고 해와 그냥 천천히